All right, I just started recording. Hey, Jen. Okay, so in case you didn't get the text about the sound, the music, the soundtrack, I am using from Maren Leah on Spotify. I'm using Soul 3, S-O-L, number 3 today. So we'll do a countdown to start that off. Before we start the music, I just want to mention this is a slow flow class. My name is Maren Heffler, and if at any point something feels uncomfortable in your body to the point of pain, definitely back off. If you feel slight discomfort, I would say try to press on, because that slight discomfort is your body changing, you getting stronger, your muscles lengthening, getting more flexible. So try not to be afraid of slight discomfort, because that's where the growth lies. All right, does everybody have their music all ready to go? We'll do a countdown starting from 3. And once I get to 1, we're going to take a break and then press play. So it's like a small pause and then press play. Okay? 3, 2, 1, play. Beautiful. We're all on the same page now, and you can alter the volume however you want to alter it. If you want it a little bit louder, a little bit softer, you do you here. And the music doesn't have lyrics. I like for my slow flows and my beginner classes to not have words, because then it's one less thing that you guys have to worry about tuning out. Sometimes it's kind of nice to not have to focus so hard on what's happening internally. And taking away lyrics, I think, takes a little bit of extra stimulation away. So, okay. Well, welcome everybody. It's so good to see you guys. Let's begin in child's pose. Knees out wide, big toes to touch in the back, and your chest and belly sinking down between your knees. Walk your fingertips away from you. Forehead comes down to the mat. And just take a few moments to settle in here. In some yoga classes, you might hear people say, leave everything at the door. Try not to say that, because it's really impossible and I get it. So we will unpack these things together throughout this hour. So you just be you. Just start to tune into your body. Start to notice things, maybe aches and pains, tension, maybe where you feel loose, where you feel good. Just take a moment to be. I've been learning a lot about Ayurveda, the practice of it and what it means. One of the really interesting parts, maybe the main part of the practice, focuses on what you're putting into your body, how you are processing what you are eating, maybe how mixing foods together in one meal can affect your body. And to take it one step further, I offer you this time to think about how important it is what we take in, not just food, but maybe information, the garbage we put inside of us, not necessarily chips and ice cream, but the stuff we are letting our minds consume, whatever it is, Instagram or Facebook or even watching the news. And I am not saying don't watch the news and don't believe the news. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe for this 1 hour, we really consider what we are ingesting at all times. Because even if it's just news in the background, you are absorbing. And the less negative we absorb, the healthier we will be. Start to feel your breath deepen right here. Feel your inhales expand you towards the four corners of this room. Your ribs expanding, opening up. And then feel your exhales maybe drop you down closer to the floor, your chest melting. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth and let it all go. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose. And then open your mouth and sigh it out. Now gently close your lips. Start to breathe in and out through your nose. Maybe a slight constriction in the back of your throat. Maybe you think of your breath like a three-part breath. That when you inhale, you feel your chest expand, your ribs open, then your belly get bigger. And then with your exhale, feel your belly get smaller, your ribs get smaller, your chest move in towards your spine. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose, and then keeping your mouth shut, exhale deeply and completely through your nose. This is the Ujjayi Pranayama breath. Inhale, exhale. It should sound like the ocean or Darth Vader, if that's what you choose. Inhaling and exhaling. This breath is what's going to carry you through this practice. It will be by your side through every movement. And remember, whatever I do, you don't have to do. This is your practice. So if something doesn't feel right, if it doesn't work in your body, don't do it. If you need to modify, do that. If you need to sit in child's pose the entire time, you can do that too. Because this is yours. Coming from child's pose. With your next inhale, walk your hands in and come up onto all fours. Your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Take some spine warming up right here. With your inhale, drop your belly, spread your chest, look up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin and tuck your tailbone. Cat pose. One more round. Inhale. Now you can keep your toes tucked if you'd like for extra stability, or maybe the tops of your feet are flat down. And then exhale. Now come to a neutral spine, a flat back. With your inhale, step your right foot back behind you, toes on the ground, and just start to move back and forth on your toes, stretching the backs of your legs here. That right leg, that hamstring. If you would like to elevate the heel up and work on balance, you can do that, or just keep your toes down. If you would like, if this serves you, with your next inhale, reach your left arm out in front of you. So you're kind of on a diagonal, the energy running from your heel, up the back of your leg, up your lower back, between your shoulder blades, and then shooting out your arm, out of your fingers. With your exhale, bring your knee to your elbow. It's a squeeze under your belly. Inhale, send it long. Exhale, squeeze again. You're turning your belly on. Inhale, send it long. And then exhale, set it back down on the mat. Next, inhale, step your left toes back. Start to tune into your hamstring. Moving back and forth. If you would like to elevate your heel up, you can, toes pointed down, engaging your left glute. And then with your next inhale, reach your right fingertips out in front of you. Again, that long line of energy. With your next exhale, it's a crunch under your belly. Squeeze it in. Inhale, send it long. Exhale, squeeze. Yes. Inhale, send it long. And then exhale, set it back down on the mat. Start to sway your hips side to side. I urge you to close your eyes here. Maybe you roll your neck around. Maybe you tuck your toes and play with the bottoms of your feet, stretching. Remember, it doesn't matter what you look like here. So just closing your eyes, just being you in this moment. Taking any movement that serves you right now. Maybe for this entire class, you keep your eyes mostly closed or your gaze softened. Because again, what somebody else is doing, what's happening in the world around you, what you look like, that doesn't matter. It's one of the great things about Zoom classes, there's no mirror. And if you're watching yourself on the screen in the little corner, I urge you not to do that. Deep, full breaths. When you're ready, come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. And then lift your hips up and back, right into downward facing dog. You can start to walk out your feet one at a time, bending a knee, coming up on your toes. Awesome, guys. You can lift a leg. You're becoming in tune with the backs of your legs. Then start to come to stillness in this downward facing dog. Picture weights on the backs of your heels, pulling them down towards the floor. Every inhale, your tailbone is tilting a little bit further up towards the ceiling. Every exhale, press your chest a little bit closer to your thighs and keep a bend in your knee if you need to, in both knees. Notice how that affects your back, maybe how it affects the backs of your legs. Just tuning in right here in this downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes. And then exhale, just drop your heels gently to the right. So you should feel this on the outside of your left leg. Inhale, come up high on your toes. And then exhale, let your heels drop to the left. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, heels down towards the mat. They don't have to touch. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Once you get there, step your feet 2 fists distance apart. That's hip distance. And grab your elbows. Start to sway side to side. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Shake it yes again. You can keep a deep bend in your knees. Maybe so much so that your chest is actually resting on your thighs. You never have to straighten your legs in this practice. There is no end goal here. It's just about feeling good and breathing. It's not about how it looks. So ignore all those images you have in your head, maybe something you saw on the internet, whatever it is, let it go. And begin to come to stillness in this ragdoll forward fold. Hands trickle down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you plant your hands on your thighs or your shins and press your thighs away from you so that you feel your spine elongating forward, the crown of your head pulling forward. Try not to arch your back or your neck. You're just staying straight. And then exhale, forward fold again. Feel it in the backs of your legs. Inhale, slowly roll up to standing. Your head comes up last. And then maybe take some shoulder rolls right here, bringing your shoulders up to your ears, dropping them down. Deep, full breaths. Next, inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center at Samastitihi. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. And take this moment to become connected to why you are here taking this class. A mantra, a saying, something you've been working on as a person. Maybe it's about calmness. Maybe it's about having energy, bandwidth. Maybe to take it back to what I was speaking about earlier, it's about noticing what we are ingesting, that turning it into a positive thought. I will ingest peace. I will become peace. Just sit with that for a moment. Think about it. What does that look like to you? Beautiful. With your next inhale, flutter open your eyes, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, hands pass through heart center as you fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, your hands come down, walk them out to a high plank. You're turning your belly on, squeezing it in, pulling your lower belly up and in. Hold that here, you're up high on your toes. With your exhale, let your knees come down towards the floor. Now we're not in tabletop, so your hips are still pulling forward, a flat back. And you can keep your toes tucked right here for extra stability. If you want to try some extra balancing, you can bring the tops of your feet down to the floor. Now with your next exhale, bend your elbows in towards your body, so you're hugging them towards your sides, just a little bend. Inhale, straighten them back up, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, lift your knees back up. Beautiful. Exhale, knees come down, elbows squeeze in, maybe just a little bit more to a hover. Inhale, straighten your arms back out, lift your knees back up. Beautiful. Now with your exhale, drop your knees. This time, as slow as you can, bend your elbows all the way down till you come all the way down to the floor. Awesome. Untuck your toes if they were tucked, tops of your feet pressing down into the floor. With your inhale, peel your chest up, little to no weight in your palms. Exhale, forehead comes down, palms come down. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lift your chest up, tops of your feet are pressing down into the floor. Maybe you hover your palms again. Exhale, forehead comes down. Now let's walk your hands away from your body, tenting your fingertips, almost like spiders. Elbows are pointed up towards the ceiling. With your inhale, pull your chest up. You get a little bit deeper stretch right here in your back, especially your lower back. Chest is lifted. Now with your exhale, drop your right shoulder down towards the floor. Maybe you look over your left shoulder. Inhale, lift your chest back up, and then exhale, other side. Don't go too hard here, just gentle. Inhale, lift your chest back up. Exhale, bring your forehead down. Palms come beside your ribs. With your inhale, lift your chest up. Keep a little bend in your elbows if you'd like. If you want to go a little bit further, you can. And you can press the tops of your feet into the mat, lifting your thighs up off of the mat. If your thighs are not up, they don't have to be. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips, send your hips back, and then lift them up towards the sky, right into that downward facing dog, right where we were before. Deep, full breaths right here. Focusing on the most important part of this class, your breath. What can you release today? What garbage or toxins can you let go of? Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, heels down. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Once you get there, reach your arms up, look up. This time, side bend to the right. So bring your right hand to your right hip, and then just take a light side bend, turning your chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center. Switch out your arms, left hand, left hip, side bend to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your hands behind your back. Fingertips can face down or up, and just lean back lightly, pressing your hips forward, a supported slight back bend here. Inhale, slowly start to stand back up. Exhale, forward fold as your hands trace the backs of your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Walk them out to a high plank. Now, optional, you can drop your knees or you don't have to. With your exhale, chaturanga, try to keep your back straight, your core is engaged. Inhale, pull your chest through, the tops of your feet come down. Again, thighs can be down on the floor or lifted. Exhale, roll over your toes or tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few deep full breaths right here. The purpose of Sun A is to warm up the spine. So every single day we have to move our spine 6 different ways. That's forward folding, backward bending. So we just did both of those. Side bending right and left, we just did those. And then we have twisting right and twisting left, which we will do coming up. So you will have completed all 6 ranges of motion in your spine by the time this class is done. And that's something simple you can do even before you get out of bed every morning, going through all 6. Deep full breaths. One more time through this Sun A. Inhale, come up high on your toes. This time, exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, and you can step or jump or tiptoe your way up to the top of your mat in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Light bend in your knees. Inhale, roll up to standing. Reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. This time, goal post your arms. Take a baby back bend. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to a high plank. Remember, knees can drop. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, pull your chest through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now that part at the end, it's what we call the vinyasa. You don't have to keep taking that if I suggest it, or in any class you ever take. Those are optional. If you want to just go right back to downward dog, you can do that, especially if you have a shoulder injury and chaturangas bother you. I've been there, so I get it. Just move right to downward dog. And remember, this is your practice. Everything that you do is right. Nobody knows your body better than you do. From downward facing dog, inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, chair pose. So like you're sitting back into a low chair. All your weight is back towards your heels, so much so that you can lift up all 10 toes. And tuck your tailbone under. Try not to arch your back too much, just a slight tuck. Your chest is lifting, shoulders are down. And I know it's uncomfortable, or if you're shaking, that's normal. That's you creating new muscles. Now with your exhale, drop your right fingertips down and back. Take a turn, a twist, so that you're looking over your back shoulder, your right shoulder. There's one twist. Inhale, come back to chair. And then exhale, left fingertips drop down and back. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to high plank. You can take the vinyasa or just meet us in downward facing dog. Remember, it's deep, full, elongated breaths. Inhale, your right leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, your knee in towards your nose. And then gently step your foot between your hand. If you need to pull it with your hand, that's okay. And then drop your back knee down onto the floor. You can untuck your back toes so the tops of your feet are pressing down, or you can keep your toes tucked for some extra stability. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, low lunge. So you don't have to be far here into almost a split. So feel what feels right for you. You want to make sure that your belly is pulled up and in, that there's some room here. You're not resting your belly on your thigh. You're actually using your core, using your muscles here. Arms are lifted, chest is lifted. Maybe your pinkies are turned in just a little bit so that we are engaging our arm. Right here, awesome. And just notice where your knee is. Try to press your knee out just a little bit so that everything's not turned in. You really want to pull it out, your knee towards being on top of your ankle right here. And try not to, if you can, have your knee far over your foot. We want to make sure we're protecting our joints. Think about pulling your right hip back, pressing your left hip forward. If you have some knee discomfort, you can roll up a towel or whatever and put it under here, something soft, a t-shirt, just under your knee in case it hurts. Now with your exhale, hands come down, sit your hips back as you fold over your extended right knee. You don't have to go far here, and you can keep a light bend in your knee too. So as long as you're feeling this in the back of your leg, your right toes pointed up towards the ceiling. If it's better for you to sit your hips all the way back and fold, you can do that too. This is your practice. You just want to feel the back of your leg. So this fold sometimes feels great for me if I need a rest. But this is actually more active, and sometimes you can really get into that hamstring even more. Remember, you don't have to look a certain way in order to feel this. Beautiful. Start to walk your hands forward. Bring weight back into your right foot. Left palm plants on the inside of your right foot. Tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee. Now with your inhale, reach your right fingertips up, dragonfly twist. You're opening up your chest towards the ceiling. That heart chakra is lifting. And you're breathing loud breaths. If it doesn't bother your neck, look up towards your right hand. Remember, if something does, it's okay. You can look down, you can look to the side. Do what works best for you in your body. You can also keep your back knee down if you prefer. You get no less of a stretch here. Now with your exhale, bring your right hand down to frame out your right foot. If you would like to take the vinyasa, step your right foot back to meet your left and take it. Otherwise, go right to downward dog. Next side, with your inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, your knee in towards your nose. Hold it. Hold it. You're engaging your core. And then gently step your foot heel to toe between your hands. Back knee comes down. You can tuck or untuck those back toes. And then inhale, arms reach up. Chest is lifted. Maybe your gaze is lifted. Again, you're pressing your right hip forward, pulling your left hip back. Noticing that left knee, is it pulling open or is it folding inwards? And then at next exhale, hands come down to the floor and sit your hips back as you straighten your front leg. Doesn't have to go far, just feel. If you can let your head hang loose and heavy, letting those muscles release. For many years of yoga, what you'll notice is you enjoy that deep stretch feeling. Sometimes it might feel pretty uncomfortable right now, I get it. Eventually you'll crave that feeling. And start to walk your hands forward, bringing weight back into your left foot. Your right palm plants on the inside of your left foot. Back toes tuck under. Now remember, you can keep your knee down if you'd like. And then inhale, your left fingertips reach up, dragonfly twist. Opening up your chest. Think about stacking your left shoulder on top of your right shoulder like there's a straight line. Energy shooting out of your fingertips. Your body twisting open. like your organs are sponges, squeezing out the old blood. And then when we release, letting new blood enter them. Exhale, your left hand comes down. Step your left foot back to meet your right. And go right to down dog or take the vinyasa. This sun B is meant to open up our hips. So just notice that this time. We're going to do one long breath per one long movement. If you need to breathe differently, you do you. There's no requirement. Nobody's going to know. Just try to inhale when I say inhale and exhale when I say exhale. Focusing on that breath moving through your body. That deep pranayama breath. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. You can walk your feet together if that serves you. Exhale, right fingertips down and back, chair twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, chair twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step or jump back. High plank to low plank if you jump. One swift motion. Inhale, pull your chest through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I will cue the vinyasa, but remember, this is your practice. Inhale, your right leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, step it through. Back knee comes down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, dragonfly twist. Exhale, right hand comes down. Step it back, vinyasa. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, low lunge, back knee is down. Exhale, half split. Inhale, dragonfly twist. Exhale, left hand comes down, vinyasa. Take a moment, take some breaths in this downward facing dog. Deep, full breaths. If you need a rest, bring your knees down. Come into embryo's pose or child's pose. And if you lost that ujjayi breath, start to bring it back into your space. Invite it back into your body. I've heard some teachers say downward dog is resting pose, and people in the class laugh because it does not feel like resting pose to many. So I get it. When you are ready, start to make your way back up into downward facing dog. Remember, you're pressing the floor away from you so that your shoulders are not sunken in. They're pushing away, pushing your body away from the floor. Chest is pressing lightly towards your thighs. Inhale, your right leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, just like before, and then gently step it through. Now dial your back heel down. Again, if you would like to drop your knee, you can always do that for any of these poses. Inhale, reach your arms up, right into a warrior one. So what's important to note in this warrior one is you don't have to be on a tightrope, right? You don't have to, a lot of people will say bicep your back foot with the heel of your front. You don't have to do that. You can actually separate your feet a little bit more so that you're more like on train tracks rather than a tightrope. And that gives you a wider base for stability. So again, just like in that low lunge, you're feeling your back, your right hip pulling back, and your left hip pressing forward. That automatically helps you square your hips towards the front of the mat. There's a deep bend in your front knee. Arms are reaching up for this warrior one. Chest is lifting. Deep, full breaths. If you're shaking, it's okay. You're pressing down onto the pinky side of your back foot, which is about at a 45-degree angle. So you're engaging that back leg. With your next exhale, you're going to turn your chest and your hips towards the left side of your mat and bring your right forearm down towards your right thigh. Left arm reaches out right into extended side angle. Now for this pose, if you want to bring your right hand down without completely dumping your weight, you can do that. But you can also just stay right here, using that leverage to twist your chest open towards the ceiling. Keep the energy in your hands, your fingertips engaged. If you want to try a half bind or a full bind right here, go for it. Beautiful. Now look down at your right foot, because that's where we're going. You're going to plant your left palm to the left and above your right foot, about a foot away. And then with your inhale, kick your back foot up, right fingertips reach. Now, I took that in one step. You can also kind of hop that foot forward and then start to balance if that serves you. Maybe you come up on your left fingertips. Try to stack your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. Your left glute is engaged so that you're lifting that back heel up. I know this is an uncomfortable pose, right? This is a very awkward, weird feeling pose. You're gonna feel it in your IT band on your right leg. That's okay. And again, you can keep your toes down too. It doesn't matter how far up that foot goes, okay? Deep, full breaths. You're gonna like this one. Slowly start to bring your back foot down and dial your back heel down. Now you're gonna cartwheel your arms open, and we're coming into star pose. So your toes are turned out just a little bit. Your chest is lifted, fingertips reaching. Think about creating space in between your side body, in between every rib. Your chest, that heart chakra, is aimed at the universe right now. You're opening. If you would like to close your eyes or soften your gaze just a little bit more, do it. Feel yourself opening up. With your next exhale, hinging at your waist, try to keep your back flat. We're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. Go slow all the way down. Beautiful. Now right here, you can hang loose in this wide leg forward fold. There's so many options. You can also walk your hands forward. Now this is my favorite. It's a wide leg downward dog. So you're walking your hands away and letting your chest drop down. So you get a deep shoulder stretch, a back stretch, a hamstring stretch. Let your head hang loose. Notice what's gripping or holding on. See if you can release that. Use your breath to release that all the way down. And then play with your weight in your feet. Maybe you pull up your toes. Maybe you shift your weight, heels to toes here. Just notice how that changes how your body feels. Of course, if you have a headstand practice in your practice and would like to take that right now, you can. Beautiful. So walk your hands in if they were reaching out in front of you. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders. Now you're going to bend into your left knee here. So we're coming into Skandasana, keeping your right leg straight, coming into a lunge. Maybe you peel your toes up so you get that deep hamstring stretch again. And you can sit your hips all the way down, only if that serves you, if it feels good. You can try a bind, reaching your right arm behind your back, your left arm around the outside of your left leg, grabbing your hands, only if that serves you. You can also plant your left palm down onto the floor and then reach your right fingertips up so you're opening up your heart again. So you get a deep left hip opening, a right hip hamstring stretch, and just breathe here. Awesome, guys. If it serves you better, you can have your hands at heart center right here. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to the mat. We're actually going to shift sides of the mat. We're going to turn to face the back of your mat. So walk your hands towards the back of your mat to frame out that bent knee foot and come up on your back toes. Awesome. Now we're facing the back of the mat. Your left foot is forward. You're going to kick your back leg up into the air, into a standing split. Now, some people prefer standing L shape. That's awesome. You do what works for you. Some people really like that stretch of getting it up really high. And you'll hear some teachers say, make sure you're pulling your right hip down. I urge you to do what feels great right now. So wherever you are, try to release your neck and your shoulders. If it feels good to kick that right heel up high, you can. Maybe you work on your balance and you grab your calf with one hand. Maybe you grab your calf with the other hand, focusing on balance. You see how my ankle is shaking and shifting back and forth? That's normal, that's good, right? I'm strengthening my foot. I'm strengthening my toes, all the little bones in my foot right here. Taking an inversion is so good for you. Fresh blood coming to your brain. Awesome. Now you're going to bring your right knee behind your left knee as you bend deeply into your left knee. Your hands can stay on the floor if you prefer, or maybe you start to come up, bringing your palms to heart center. Now you're really going to feel this in your standing leg. If you need to take a break, you take a break and then come back into it. Never give up here, right? Deep bend in that standing knee. Maybe you deep bend a little bit more. Also, those back toes, which is your right, they can stay on the floor too, like a kickstand. Remember, you do you. Beautiful. Last pose. So step those right toes all the way back. Stay up high on those back toes. Right hand comes down. Left fingertips come up. We're right back in that dragonfly twist, right? What we did before. Opening up your chest. Maybe this time you lean back just a little bit more. Opening up. Deep, full breaths in through your nose. Out through your nose. Your heart might be beating a little bit faster right now. That's okay. You can use your breath to slow that heart rate down. Picture your heart rate slowing right here. With your next exhale, your left hand comes down. You can step your left foot back to meet your right, or just go right to downward dog that way, or take the vinyasa. Now we're facing the back of the mat. Every time we face the back of the mat with me, we start with our left leg. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, your knee in towards your nose, and step it through. Now staying up high on your back toes. Remember, you can separate your feet towards the long edges of your mat. Inhale, dial your back heel down and coming right into a warrior one. I almost had you in that crescent lunge, but I remembered. Warrior one today. Chest is lifted. Fingertips reaching like they're on fire. Deep, full breaths in through your nose, out through your nose. Maybe you sink down just a little bit more, recommitting to that deep bend in your left knee. And just like before, pull your left knee out towards the pinky side of your front foot. As you press down into the pinky side of your back foot, engaging both legs. With your next exhale, turn your chest or hips towards the long edge of your mat to your right. Left forearm comes down, right arm reaches up, right into that extended side angle. Yes, any variation you'd like, any bind, half bind, full bind. You can bring that left palm down if you'd like. Think about turning your chest up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Awesome. Now, look down at your left foot because that's where we're going. You're going to plant your right palm off to the right side, about a foot away, and you're launching up off of your back leg, right into that revolved half moon. Left fingertips are reaching, Right heel, remember those toes can stay down or maybe you lift them up. Keep a light bend here. Try not to lock out your joint. You don't want to do that. So keep a nice light bend in your standing knee. Think about creating space in your upper body here, opening it up. Beautiful. Slowly bring your right foot down. Dial your back heel down and then open up to that star pose, right? Chest is lifted. Toes are turned out just a little bit. Creating space. Maybe take some deep, full breaths right here. And then exhale, forward fold, right into that wide leg forward fold. Again, if you'd like to try a headstand, you can. One cool variation that I always like to try is I'll bring my right hand to the opposite ankle, my left ankle, as I reach my left fingertips up, taking a deep twist. And then release and go to the other side. If you would like to walk your feet in just a little bit and try a bind behind your back, you can. Awesome. Now we're coming into Skandasana, so walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. You're going to bend into your right knee this time. Straightening your left leg. You can stay up high, you can come down low, and any variation you want with your hands. Reconnect to your breath. And bring your hands down. If they were up, walk your hands towards the front of the mat again. You're framing out your right foot. Then we're kicking that back leg right up into standing split. Any variation you want here, any way you want to work or balance, your hands can stay down. You just do you. I know a lot of people have a fear of falling in a class. Well, that's one of the good things about Zoom, right? Nobody will know. But I urge you not to be afraid of falling. It takes a lot of falls in order to get these things down, right? And that's how we learn. Beautiful. Start to bring your left knee behind your right knee. Hands can come to heart center with your chest lifted, or your hands can stay on the floor, right into that Shiva squat. So you're really engaging that standing leg. Deep bend in your knee. Chest is lifted. Maybe your gaze is lifted. And I know it's uncomfortable. You are strong. Tell yourself you are strong. With your next inhale, step your left toes back. Left palm plants, right fingertips reach up, right into that dragonfly twist. Ooh, opening up your chest a little bit. Beautiful. Bring your right hand down. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot back to meet your left, and you can take the vinyasa or just go to downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, pull your right knee behind your right wrist, your right foot behind your left wrist, settling into pigeon. Now, if taking this on your back serves you a little bit better, you can hook your ankle over your left knee right into this figure four. You're threading your right hand in between your legs. Your left hand comes around, and then use your right elbow to push it open. Relax your head. If you are trying the traditional pigeon pose, try to get that right foot as close to, if you don't feel this in your hip, just pull your foot as close to parallel, getting that shin parallel to the top of your mat. Otherwise, if this does not feel right, bring it in and then fold. So you're creating length before you fold. You're pulling forward and then you're folding down. Maybe you flex this foot. You do you here. And just start to settle into this yin pose. Notice what muscles in your hip are holding on, not allowing you to completely settle in, not allowing you to completely melt down towards the floor. And use your breath to release it. can let go of that ujjayi breath. Start to take full and complete breaths in and out as you settle in. If you can, think about pressing your left hip down towards the mat a little bit. Opening up the outer right spot of your right hip. For your next inhale, walk your hands back in towards your shin. Plant your palms up, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and then with your inhale, send your right leg back. If you'd like to bend your knee and fan your hip, take some circles, you can, and meet us back in downward dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through. Now, if you're still on your back, you can stay on your back. We'll just do the other side. So create space with your inhale. You're lifting and lengthening, hinging forward without rounding down at first. And then exhale, completely release down into that pigeon pose. A slight press down in your right hip. If you're on your back this time, your left ankle is hooked over your right knee. Your left arm is between your legs, pulling your right thigh towards your chest. And that reclined pigeon, figure four. Check in and notice where you can melt just a little bit more. Where can you let go? Slowly start to walk your hands back in towards your shin. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. And with your inhale, swing your left leg back. If you want to bend your knee again, fanning your hip, doing some circles to get the blood flowing back there, go for it. And then set it back down on the mat. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Sit off to one side and swing your legs out in front of you. With your inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, fold forward, creating length forward before you round down. If you want to keep a deep bend in your knees to get to your feet, you can. Also, if you have a towel or a shirt that you can wrap around your feet to pull you closer, you can do that too. Just feel this in the backs of your legs and fold. Slowly start to walk your hands back in. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Now using your core, slowly roll down onto your back. One vertebra at a time. All the way down. Bring your hands along your sides. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then exhale. Guide your right knee across your body. Open up your right arm. Supine twist. Try to keep your shoulder blades down on the ground, melting. Your head turns towards the right. Just settle in. Getting a deep twist. Inhale, bring your right knee back in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then exhale, set it back down next to your left leg. Inhale, your left knee comes in. Squeeze. Exhale, guide it across your body. Open up your left arm and turn your head towards the left. Your left shoulder blade sinking down towards the mat. You might need to shift that bottom hip so that they're stacked on top of each other. Just getting in a deep twist. Inhale, bring your left knee in. Squeeze it towards your left armpit again. And exhale, set it back down on the mat. One more asana, coming into happy baby. So bring your knees in towards your chest. Open your knees out wide. Grab the outsides, so the pinky side of your feet, and pull. Now, you don't have to grab your feet if that's too hard. Just grab your thighs, pull them in. Just so you're getting a deep hip release here. Maybe you sway back and forth. If you want to go a little deeper, you can grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers. You can straighten one leg at a time, or both legs. Just rock side to side, massaging your lower back into the floor. When you're ready, release your feet. Come into a tuck, so squeeze your knees in towards your chest. Forehead comes up. Your arms are wrapping around your shins. Try to tense every single muscle. You're squeezing it all in. One deep inhale. Hold it. Exhale, release out into Shavasana. Arms away from your body at your sides. Palms up to receive the energy of the room, or palms down to ground you. Feet are flopping slightly open, away from each other towards the corners of your mat. This is the dessert portion of your meal here, so just settle in, letting everything go. Letting go of your thoughts. Let them just be wherever they need to be. Letting go of your body completely. And letting go of your breath. Just let it flow the way it needs to, in and out. This is the moment that we absorb every single thing that we just did. I'll guide you out when it's time. slowly start to bring some awareness back into the room. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana, you can. You can just tune out my voice. Before you start to move, notice how different you feel from when you started. How your shoulders feel, how your hips feel. Feel how heavy your bones feel in your body as they press down towards the floor. Start to wiggle your fingers a little bit at a time. Wiggle your toes. Maybe you start to move your wrists, your ankles. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Point your toes towards the front of the mat. Take a full body stretch, full body yawn. And then exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And give yourself a hug, a real hug, this moment of gratitude. Because you showed up today. You came here to be with me, to be with you, to give yourself this gift. Because this hour was about you. When else can you say that? So thank yourself. When you're ready, slowly roll on to your right or your left side. Whatever side you need right here. It's the side of new beginnings. You get to start fresh. Maybe here is where you check in with yourself and recommit to focusing on what we are putting into our bodies, both with food, nourishment, with the media, with maybe toxic relationships. What can you let go of that will free you, that will nourish your body, that will feed you healthy foods, healthy thoughts, a healthy life? When you're ready, using your hands, push your way up to a comfortable seat. Maybe your eyes stay closed or your gaze stays soft. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it at the top. Open your mouth, let it go. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose, then hold it at the top. Sip in more air. A little more air. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Beautiful. Come back to your natural breath. You are brave. You are loved. And you are enough. The love and light within me honors and respects the love and light within you. And it is with this love and light that we are all connected. Together we say, Namaste. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much. I'll be sticking around if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that. You can stay here and ask